All right, we are here with the Coosa Christian Conquerors. Say that 5 times fast, Reggie.
Coosa Christian Conquerors. See, I can't.
You got one out.
I got one.
You got one out. Okay. Coach, I'm gonna let you guys introduce yourself, starting with the head coach, and then we'll work our way back and then back across.
Yeah, I'm Mark O'Brien.
The young man with COVID-19. Just kidding.
Evan Doe.
Coach Jackson,
Coach Ivan Campbell.
Isaiah Cole. Elijah Cole.
We've had this group on every week. We've seen new faces every week. Been some great times with these guys. Coaches, I'm so glad y'all are on now, man. We've done a one-on-one with you.
Yeah.
We've had a one-on-one with Evan before, so we've actually had Dax on Average Joe's before, so we feel like family now.
First season.
That's right.
I still ain't got a one-on-one yet. I'm kind of sorry.
Hey, give it time, baby. Give it time. We're like fine wine. We ain't going to where y'all ain't either. Coach, before we dive into y'all's game coming up this week, y'all had a tough one last week with Cedar Bluff. Talk about that game a little bit before we move on to this week's coming up game.
Well, I mean, they're athletic, right? And so we struggled against some of their athletes, upper class athletes, and we struggled just stopping them on that point. I felt like we stopped the run pretty well. We moved the ball very well. Turnovers hurt us. We have a lot of hiccups in our offense. It's pretty normal when you're real young. I hate to use that word every week, but you have hiccups when it's hard to execute an entire drive unless you have a big play. And that's been our Achilles heel all year. We'll move the ball from 20 to 20, and then whether it be a fumble or interception or just penalties, it kills your drive. And we're so young, it's hard for us to overcome long situations, right? Because we're just so young, right? And so that was our biggest problem against Cedar Bluff. I thought we played very hard, and that's the most important thing.
Have you ever in your career been anywhere remotely close to what you're having to go through this year? Not just from the COVID standpoint, but starting like 6th, 8th graders, and 7th graders?
I've told Dax and those guys, I think this is my 18th year I've done this, and I've started one 8th grader one time in my life.
You starting 6 now?
Starting 7. And that 8th grader happened to be Alaric Williams.
Yeah, that's not normal.
That was
That's not normal.
no brainer, right? So, and now we're starting 7 8th graders and one 7th grader. I've never started a 7th grader in varsity, never. So
I've never even heard of a 7th grader playing varsity, really.
I don't think I have either.
no.
Man. Dax, how's the season been for you personally, man? I know you always learn, man, from seasons like this. Actually, some of the best teachings come from seasons like this with the adversity.
Yeah, I think these guys have fought every week, and I think as coaches we've taught them things. But I think their resilience to not give up, no matter what the score is, has really been an eye opener for us. These guys show up to work every day. They showed up today to work, and just the fight they bring every single day. It doesn't matter what our record is. Or like I said, in the middle of a game, it can be 50-0, or we can be losing 50-0. They're going to bring the same intensity each and every play. And that's what Coach O, puts us as coaches. I mean, I can't tell you when our last day off was, but it's a grind. If you're not grinding, then you're not doing something right.
That's right.
So I think it's kind of been a culture shock to me because I've never worked this many days.
I love it.
But these guys are amazing, and I can't thank Coach O enough for giving me the opportunity to be here and to do what I get to do. So I'm pretty blessed. Yeah.
Same question to you, young man. What's this season been like for you in general with all the adversity and things you guys had to battle through?
It's tough. Just now starting in
What grade are you in?
8th.
8th grade. Awesome. You just now getting a little piece of it, ain't you?
Yes, sir.
What's it like sitting beside a guy like Mr. Delk there beside you that has been here and done that all these years? And what have you learned from somebody like him?
That anything's possible.
100%. Evan, same question to you. You've seen it all and done it all at this point in your career. I mean, what's this season? How's it separated itself from any of the other ones you've had?
Definitely COVID has really separated the season a lot from any other season we ever had, or any other year really I've ever had. Because, we locked down when I came to school to see, and we were talking about the whole situation, and we were talking about it wasn't looking so bright. So it was. I'm praising God, that we were even playing football. But I mean, Coach O, he's a great coach, man. And I mean, we might not have had the best season, but honestly, we're building as a team. They're building up as a team. And looking back, even when I'm in college, third, second year, and they're winning state championships, man.
Oh, it's coming.
Yeah, it's coming, man. I'm gonna be jealous too. Jealous, Coach O.
Same question to you. What's it been like this season, separating itself from all the other ones you've had?
It's been a lot more fun because you can tell that everybody on the team, including the 8th graders, are doing everything they can to try and play their heart out.
Battling through it all. I love it.
It's mostly just showing me that not everything is who's the best on the field, but it mostly comes from the heart. Like, you gotta want to play, you gotta want to go make that tackle more than the other guy wants to get past the tackle.
No doubt. Same question to you.
Man, the resilience of the kids, man, they come in every day, they want to work hard, they want to play football every day. They just mentally tough, all the 8th graders, young guys. We got a young group, and the biggest challenge was COVID, slowing everything down. But on the upside, these guys, they stayed focused the entire season, and I just thank Coach O for the opportunity. This is my first year here at Coosa Christian, and I just thank him for the opportunity to coach here. So
I think you just hit the nail on the head. And talking to Coach O, and he and I did a one-on-one, and we talked a lot after, got to know each other really well afterwards, and got lots of respect for him before, and even more after. The man ain't took a day off himself in months and months. What does that mean to be coaching under a guy like that? That hey, I can't say, hey, I just want to go hang out at the house. We gotta go to work.
It's just his dedication to the game of football. He's been doing it for a while, longer than I have. I worked around college and been around, played high school ball as well. But just his dedication to the work ethic and just making us grind, and all the other assistants grind every day. It's just a grind. Every day, 7 days a week, we work hard.
I love it. I love it, man. Coach, you're talking about, in my terms of building something here, there's zero doubt that that's coming. I don't think anybody in this room or around this county who is, not unless they're blind and don't want to listen up, knows that it's coming with Coosa. So what's it going to take, in your opinion, to get to where you want this program to be?
Well, I think the process is already, happening. If you look, I think last year, I think the junior high and Dax would know this better than me, but I think the junior high and the varsity combined was 1-17. Is that no 0-7? 0-7. No, 1-7.
Well, the varsity won one game, and I had the honor of taking the junior high program as the head coach. First year they'd had a program in a long time, and we didn't win a ball game.
Yeah, so
1-17.
And this year it's 8-9. Okay, so and the varsity's not seeing it because it's a junior high, it's a junior varsity team, it's a junior high team, and so the process is already going, and the kids already understand the process, and it's an easy process when you don't have to fight for participation, right? So the kids are here every day. Usually when you're going through a rebuilding process, you have to run some kids off the program because they become cancers when things don't go their way. It's not been that way this year. We've had to run no kids off, and we've had 100% participation from day one to day now, right? And so we don't have to chase kids. They don't make excuses. They just show up and they work every day, right? We go through the weight program and film study and scouting report and all the other stuff, and it's consistent. So process is already there, it's built. Right? We just got to keep going, and they've got to age a little more. We're playing 13 and 14-year-old kids. Mm-hmm. It's tough to beat 18-year-old kids.
Yeah,
It's true.
it is true.
Coach, what is it like for these seniors on this team? I know the one thing they took away from it is they've definitely been having fun. Players such as Evan, it's helped you build that foundation that it's going to be, that this program's going to be built on.
these seniors have been wonderful. We're missing one tonight, but these seniors have been wonderful. They do everything you ask them to do. You know, they're kind-hearted, they're loving, and they're leaders. And that's really all you can ask for of leadership from the senior group. They don't hide behind anything. If you need something, you tell them, they make it happen. And so they've done everything I've asked them to do. So it's just, unfortunately, we're just playing with a bunch of youth, and they're having to pay the price for it, you know. And but they're the reason, you know, we're at where we're at right now, though. So we're building a good foundation for tomorrow.
This is I want to say the rock that this is going to be built on. Reggie, you got anything?
I don't think so, man.
I got one last question. We'll let the two coaches on the end answer this. Coming up this week, Whitesburg Christian. What have you guys seen from them? We'll start over here.
I think they're skill-wise, they're really good. O-line and D-line wise, I think we could match their talent, and it just depends on our youth. But I think we can pull this one out.
Absolutely, that'd be huge to go out like this.
Just by observation of film studying.
Yeah.
I looked at all. I got one more film to watch, and I looked at most of all the film. They're very simple. So we should get at them.
Gotta execute.
Yes.
That's the thing. Gotta execute.
They play fast. You know, their head football coach, I've been in contact with him every week. I text him every Friday and say, hey, coach, who you got this week? You know, good luck. He's a really good guy. And, you know, we've really built a friendship. Haven't met each other yet, but we built a really good friendship. So I'm excited to be able to finally meet him Friday. But I think that, you know, they're kind of in the same boat we're in. You know, they're young. It's the first year of them ever having a football program, and he's told me, he said, you know, we've got a bunch of guys, we're starting a bunch of guys that's never played football before in their life. You know, these guys have never played football in their life. So he's in the same boat we are. So I think they do a good job, but when I think Whitesburg Christian, I think fast football. You know, if they get out in the flats and you don't have anybody out there, you're done. You know, they're gone. They're taken to the house. So we just got to play physical football, got to play tough football, and if we do our jobs right, I like our chances.
I like it. Coach, anything else you want to say before we shut down?
You know, we appreciate, you know, everything you guys do, for sure.
We're just getting started, baby.
Yeah,
We'll do all season with you guys too.
It's been really cool to, you know, to grow our relationship. So, and I've known Reggie for some time, and our relationship's always been good.
Oh yeah.
Getting to know you, Bo, it's been fun, man.
Oh, absolutely.
And we just continue to build what we got.
Just getting started, man. We're gonna build this off season, keep promoting Coosa.
Yeah,
Definitely.
And
Definitely.
so when everybody wants to jump on board, we're gonna be already there.
We'll be like, back off.
Appreciate all you guys, man. Appreciate you guys coming on this
Thank
year.
you guys for what you guys do for the youth.
Hey, we appreciate you, Dr. Sparks, letting us use this place and feeding us each week. Those guys are huge too.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well, I appreciate you guys. You guys have a great one and good luck Friday.
thanks.
All right, guys, we have in the Glencoe Yellow Jackets today. I'm gonna let you guys introduce yourselves, starting over here, name and position.
Eli Huff. I guess I run the sidelines now. I played running back.
I like the sidelines better, bro.
I'm TJ Peebles. I'm basically athlete. I'm all over the field.
I like where your head's at.
Justin Dove, free safety and running back.
All right. So while you're on the sidelines, ACL.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how's the game changed for you to be on the sidelines since your injury? I know I've already heard from other players that you do a lot of coaching and motivating and actually seeing you painting the field. And
oh yeah,
that's a program guy.
He basically the heart and soul.
That's right.
Yeah.
I just really try to do what I can over there. Like, if any guys got any questions or anything, and I know that it's something that I can actually, you know, answer and give them some way to look at it differently or something like that, or just any way to help anybody out or anything like that, I try to do that.
Absolutely, man. PJ, you wouldn't lie when you said you was all over the field. You sent me your huddle the other day. I checked it out. He was getting after it. He was all over the field. Yeah,
I
man.
like when I'm on the field. I try to think of myself as like a maniac, like I'm all over the place. I'm not trying to like to hurt somebody, but I'm trying like, oh yeah, what's that guy's name? I want people.
Debo is
like,
his name.
Yeah, yeah, I'm Debo on that field.
Do you have any schools looking at you right now?
Huntington College out of Montgomery, Faulkner University, and Culver Stockton out of Missouri.
Okay.
Kind of up north.
Send me your handle on Twitter.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, you follow Average Joe's on Twitter?
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
I'll be tagging. I was like, y'all be ignoring me.
Now, Reggie runs that.
Oh, dang, you ignoring me? Like, come on, man.
Man, if you only knew how many messages we get, I had to tell.
He does it all by himself too. So.
And I've had to tell people to not send us photo links to the inbox because it fills up. Just tag us. If anybody's listening, tag us and on your links.
I usually just tag y'all anyway.
Yeah, if you tag it, I'll share it. It's right there.
Reggie's done a good job cultivating that. He started it a little over a year ago, and it's like 2,500 followers already.
It's 27.
2,700, and he just started it. He did it all on his own, so he's absolutely crushing it. Right here, my man, talk to me. Last week, y'all had a tough game, 8-0 loss, Pleasant Valley. Talk to us about the game last week.
Bad kickoff return coverage.
Is that what they scored on?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
They
Really?
couldn't score on defense like that.
It was the opening kick of the second half, right?
No, I think it was like
It was right after halftime.
Yeah.
I think it was like right before. No, it was either one of them.
It was after halftime.
Yeah.
So they scored on that. Did they go for two on purpose, or
No, they went for the two.
went for two and got it? Wow. All right, we're gonna start right back over here. Have you got to watch film on Plainview yet?
Not yet. I haven't looked at it.
They run a triple option. They run it pretty good.
Yeah, they really do. It's a lot of misdirection.
And they love to kill the clock and kill y'all's possessions. I know you said you played running back too some, but they like to keep y'all's offense off the field. That's their game plan. They will run the clock down.
We're methodical.
Absolutely. But y'all haven't got to see film on it.
Yeah, I got to watch a little film. It's a lot of misdirection, triple option, like Army, one of those teams.
100%. That's exactly what they're running.
And the fullback, I mean, he's a decent player. Like, you know,
Yeah.
you got to. It's just assignment. This week, it's a lot of you got to play your assignment and play that. Like, don't try to do anybody else's job. You got quarterback, you got quarterback. You got option guy, you got option guy. You got fullback, you got fullback.
That's right.
Just do your job.
That's right.
That's the only way you beat a triple A.
Yeah, because you gotta. I tell everybody this: when you go to play a team like that, it's hard to simulate that in practice, and then you got to turn around and execute what you simulated, and it pretty much puts your whole defensive strategy for the season on hold for 1 week because it don't mean nothing when you're playing a triple option team.
Right.
You got to stop what you're doing, concentrate on just that, and then go back to your normal spread or wing tee that everybody else runs. You know what I
We've
mean?
seen a lot of that this year. Teams had to prepare for the triple
At this
option.
point, I'm kind of sick of seeing the wing tee. At this point, I'm just like, oh my god! It's like every week I'm seeing wing tee. Oh, what's the name? Ohatchee runs it. Oh, pop this, pop right. I mean, Jesus Christ! Does anybody in 3 run the spread?
Piedmont.
Piedmont.
Yeah.
Piedmont, but I mean,
Yeah, that's about it.
besides them,
Yeah.
nobody.
I can't think of
I don't think so. I think you're right.
Not around here that I know.
No,
of.
not around here. Definitely not.
You'd have to have a pretty solid quarterback to run it. Around here, I don't know of anybody else that runs it. Eli, talk to us, man, about this is senior year. It's gonna be the last game. What do you hope these fellas can accomplish?
Shoot, I just hope we can end it on a win. Like, it'd be a great way to kick off the next season for the next guys coming up. Like, we're 2-8 right now, so I mean that's better than last year, obviously, but that's not great at all. So we really it'd be huge, right, if we get a win in the season.
Y'all been decimated by injuries too, right?
Yes.
I mean, talk about that.
Starting off, we had Austin Cochran. He was I don't know what position he was.
He played center. He was our starting center.
He goes play basketball. One day he blow his knee out. I don't know why he played basketball.
He's playing basketball.
He don't even play basketball.
He was playing at like a some YMCA or something like that.
And
just playing.
Blew his ACL.
And then we get to besides that, and then we hit a long stretch, and then he got hurt.
Jordan,
Jordan Haney, a freshman. Somebody rolled up on his leg. I think it was his fibula or something. He out for the season.
I've had 4 or 5 key players that have gotten hurt this year.
Yes, it's insane.
Crowder, Saxy Ames.
Listen to all these names.
Yeah,
It's tough.
starters too.
Y'all play in the toughest region in the state from top to bottom.
Yes.
I'm not saying it's, you can line up and go beat 7A Region 3. I'm talking about per capita. For your classification, this is probably the toughest region in the state. Because Sacs finished 4th, and Sacs could win almost every other 3A region there is.
Yeah.
I mean, their 3 losses was the 3 top 5 teams.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And then when they think about it, they started at the bottom of the region.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
And then once they got to
roll.
middle street, they got.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, y'all play in the toughest region.
No doubt.
I mean, the top 3 teams in that region just finishing a 3-way tie. You know what I mean?
It's tough.
All 3 in the top 5, right? So,
All 3 are ranked in the top 5.
Ann has the defending state champion. I mean, it's just insane. That's
Yeah.
insanity. You factor that in, then you factor in COVID, then you factor in injuries. You're just like, that gum. I mean,
But one thing I can say about these guys, they did not give up their season. They fought on. It's a couple teams that were decimated by injuries, and they finished their seasons. And I mean, hats off to you guys for doing that, because you know, Coach Otter could have just said, "Hey, we're done," you know, and you know that's. And I know for you seniors, I'm sure y'all glad he did that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
all 3 of you guys seniors, correct?
Yes, sir.
Man, this would be huge if y'all could pull this one out, man.
I kind of wish we could get some of those games back, like the tougher games, like because I feel like, especially the Ohatchee game, I feel like we were that close, you know, but we couldn't get off the field, and offense we kind of stalled out, so that killed that game.
Yeah.
Wellborn, I don't know, they were just
That's pretty
some
solid.
dudes. They had some dudes. They had some dudes.
Piedmont number 27. I see him in my nightmares.
Elijah Johnson, I think this is.
Yeah.
I kind of wish I definitely wish I could get that game back. I feel like I didn't leave like a good enough mark. I mean, I did good in that game, but I feel like I could have like at the better mark.
Just check it out on Plainview, man.
Yeah, you know, that's the last.
Plainview's gonna finish 2nd in 5-3.
Yeah.
I mean, to be never mind. Never mind.
Maybe I can finally get a return on a kickoff.
I'm not trying to be
Seven
one of
tackle
guy
on
in my
3.
wrestling.
Any of y'all playing basketball?
Oh yeah, I mean he was.
I was.
He was.
Yeah, he is.
So I come to.
What about baseball?
I'm gonna play baseball.
You'll be back for that, won't you? Yeah, that's good. Cool. All right.
covering baseball, boys.
We're covering baseball, so you're playing basketball?
Yeah, we playing basketball.
We're fixing to do media days for basketball. We're setting up here at Sparks, so we'll have you guys in for that.
Nice.
Heck yeah.
No doubt.
I mean, I might be a manager for baseball, so you see me out there.
I like it.
Yeah.
Guys, I appreciate you guys coming in, sitting in with us. Good luck against Plainview. You guys are
home, correct?
Yeah, that's on.
Yes.
Hey, you guys leave, man. When they say leave it on the field, man, for real.
You got nothing else to lose?
No, don't even bring nothing off that field with you, man. Empty the clip. Give it everything y'all got.
Everything you got.
All right, guys. Y'all take it easy. Good luck. All right. Our next game is going to bring us into the Ohatchee Indians, and they will hit you. That's right. At the creek bank. They will hit you, and they'll hit you hard.
Something about that creek bank water over there.
Well, I'll tell you this right now. I think Weaver got a helping serving of it last week, to the tune of 56-6. All right, that's, here at Average Joe's, we tiptoe the line, but we also are honest. Weaver's been down. They're a young team. Don't have a lot of numbers.
Struggling.
Catching Ohatchee at, heading into the playoffs at the wrong time to play them to begin with, because them dudes they're good all the time, but Martin's front heavy on his schedule. Now he's tuning up for the playoffs. Kev, I got Munford coming up. Munford is a good team, but they've struggled a little bit this season. What do you look to see from that game from Munford, Kev?
A lot of physicality on the offensive and defensive line, and there's an actual connection to this one as well.
Yeah, right.
Well, sort of. The head coach,
Okay.
Michael Easley, his father replaced Rush Probst in 1993. So
he was from Ashville, too.
So I remember Michael growing up on the sidelines, throwing a little, he was one, excuse me, ball boys when his dad was a head coach. So and it's weird seeing him. Well, not weird. It just makes me feel old seeing him growing up now as head coach. And they struggled last year, but they seem to have turned it around the second year. But they lost a couple of games. Seemed like it was Cherokee County or somebody. Who was it? They lost to Anniston. In overtime or something like that. They're a better team than what their record indicates, obviously. But it's a game I know Coach Martin won't take lightly. So, and of course, being at Ohatchee, that'd give them a little bit of home field advantage. But it's going to be it's one of those games I'd be afraid of as a coach going to the playoffs, because it's one of those physical games that you could get a key player hurt that could be out for 2 or 3 weeks. But it also at the same time it's another one of those good tests that would kind of make them have to prepare for it real hard.
And
So.
Munford's 5-4, not going to the playoffs.
Right.
So this is their Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And they've had an off week to prepare for this game. So they're going to give Ohatchee everything they have. Will that be enough to beat Ohatchee? You know, I wouldn't say so, but also I think it's a pretty good test for Ohatchee heading into the playoffs.
I agree.
And we do know now with the win Piedmont had over Welborn, it puts Ohatchee third in a 3-way tie, which is not a bad thing.
Would this be one of those tiebreaker games for Ohatchee, but
no?
Much of 4A.
It don't matter at this point. It's pretty much sealed up now. It's sealed up.
All right.
So the reason Piedmont won first is because they have wins over Jacksonville and Cherokee County, who are both having really good seasons.
Oh, yeah.
They got all those.
They hammered
points.
Cherokee County.
That's right. So and here's the deal. It's not a bad thing heading into the playoffs. I know this is not a playoff breakdown. Being third in this region and traveling outside the region to where they're going to be going, it's a good path. It really is a good path to make a deep run. So we don't want to give anything away yet. Talk about the playoffs at a later date. But let's talk about Munford right now. What I think Ohatchee needs to do right here is get out on them early, do like they do, limit their possessions, limit the time they have the ball, demoralize them by running the ball straight at them with King and those guys going straight up, knocking people, hitting people in the mouth. Go in there. You're at the creek bank. Take control of this game early. Step on the gas and don't let up.
I agree, and that way you get. And I don't want, like I said, that Coach Martin hears me say this. He may come after me, but the game to get out early, jump ahead, to get a big lead. That way you can possibly get some of your good starters out, and that way resting for the playoffs. But like I said, this game, you don't know how it's going to go.
That's right.
I mean, it could be a 4-quarter game.
Depending on which Munford shows up.
Yeah.
They're 5-4 with an off week prepared to this being their Super Bowl. Do you think their seniors want to go out with a loss?
Mm-mm.
They're going to
So
empty the
last
clip.
game.
They're going to give it everything they have.
And actually, they should have beaten Cherokee County. They lost to them 28-26 early in the season.
Cherokee County ain't no slouch either.
I know it.
So
and I say it's not, like I said, if I'm a starter for that Ohatchee Indian football team, I need to remember it's not chopped bacon that they're going to be playing against Friday night. So or chopped liver. So.
But we're looking forward to it. After that game, we will be having mornings with Martin again, which has been awesome this year. And then we do know at this point they play Lauderdale County first in the playoffs.
On the road.
On the road.
And I looked at Lauderdale County's schedule, and they don't seem to really have played. I mean, they've got a good record, but they don't seem to play the schedule that Ohatchee's played.
I don't think nobody
Yeah.
has.
Lauderdale County, they've got a lot of tradition.
Yeah.
I remember when I was teaching at Litchfield, we played them, and those guys, they're tough. They'll hit you as well. They will hit you. That corner of the state, they've got some really good small school ball up there. So Lauderdale County, they won't be a slouch. Okay, just gonna have their hands full. Definitely. But I know we're looking ahead a bit.
But when you got hair, honestly, like King looks like Thor, and Eli's hair, I don't know, he looks like
Aiden.
I mean, how do you lose?
Yeah.
With hair like that,
Yeah.
it's a win-win to me.
It is. Coach Martin's grew the goatee now. I think that's a huge win.
Oh wow! I haven't seen that. Check that last video.
When we got a looks like that, I mean, there's no way they lose.
No.
And Ohatchee's one of those teams that when it gets to postseason, the 10th or last regular game of the season, the postseason, they just flip the switch and they're
taking off.
Okay, you bar the door.
Yeah. It ain't going to be no cakewalk against Munford, but if they go in there and do what they do and execute, I think they're going to be fine.
I agree.
All right. We're going to shut this one down. On to our next. All right. Our next game is going to bring us into the Piedmont Bulldogs, region champions. Huge win at Walter Welborn last week. Unbelievable atmosphere. We actually got to make it out. I personally, myself, Josh, and Tara made it that game, and Jay rode with us. So it was a huge game, huge atmosphere, playoff atmosphere if I've ever seen one. Kudos to Welborn. I forgot how intimidating the hill was, Kevin. I don't know when the last time you've been there when it was rocking. But
I went over last time I was over there. Ashville lost to 1 point to Welborn, 41-40, and it was intimidating. I'll admit.
Yeah,
It's just like it's like a fog over there.
It is, and it sets up literally on a hill with a hill leading into it and a hill over here.
Yeah.
It was really intimidating, really good atmosphere, but that was huge from the standpoint of winning the region championship, but they're playing a whole different animal this week.
Oh, God.
This will be by far and away Piedmont's toughest opponent this season. And that includes Grisham, that includes Welborn, that includes Ohatchee. This Alexandria team, coached by Coach again, is going to be their toughest opponent by far and away.
It's like going from a Labrador Retriever to a Rottweiler.
I'd say Welborn and Ohatchee are Dobermans.
Yeah.
This is going to be
maybe a pit bull.
Pit bull or a Rottweiler. They're all, you don't want to mess with any of them, but this is going to be a very tough game. I mean, looking back, inside the numbers, Alexandria is playing 5A ball and outscoring people 400 and something to 100 and something. I don't know what those final numbers are already.
408 to 123.
408 to 123. And they're undefeated, and they've got weapons like they haven't had before. And then they got the advantage of playing at Death Valley. And it's a rivalry game. I mean, it hadn't been played in a long time, but it's a rivalry game for bragging rights kids.
I was kind of surprised when I was looking at the series. They've not played since 1993, and I thought, why have these two not played each other? I mean, that's like a county rivalry, yeah. Of course, now coming into the season, I knew Alexandria would have a winning season. I thought they might go 7-3, 8-2, but man, they're curb stomping everybody they play. In fact, I know the radio play-by-play guy Robert Smith, and I had no idea. I think I picked the second week of the season. I picked Center Point to beat Alexandria, and they beat Center Point 52-28. From that point forward, beating them like that, they had me sold, and they seem to be going on all 8 cylinders right now. I mean, I know some of the schedule has not been strong, but to beat Leeds and Center Point like they have, that was 2 impressive wins. And I think Leeds was on the road, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they did go to Leeds and win that one, 24-9.
That's a tough stadium to play at as well.
Yeah, and Leeds, they have a very strong running game as well, but the Alexandria defense appear to keep that in check. I will be at that game this week. I'm kind of excited about that. Their principal, Jason Deason, he's a Glencoe native. He has reached out to us several times about coming, so I was like, this would be the perfect week to go. Get to see some good football against 2 quality teams playing each other, so this is the perfect game to get our foot in the door at Alexandria.
Well, I've heard they've got good hospitality over there, though, as far as hosting in
Death Valley.
Yeah, and the food is unreal. Yeah, so you'll have a great time over there.
My wife graduated from there. I've been over there several times. I played over there years ago, but it's a very Welborn-esque environment. If you want to look at an environment, and I know that stadium's going to be packed for this game, but again, Piedmont is champions for a reason. They're defending 3A state champions. Steve Smith's got 4 state championships. They're going to be well coached. If anybody can kind of handle an environment like that, it's going to be Steve Smith and this veteran team that he has now. Last year was supposed to be the year that Piedmont took a step back and they won a state championship. This year was the year they're supposed to have, everything's on paper, right? So this year is supposed to be the year that they had their dudes in place and going to go win it. So heading into the playoffs, I don't know of a tougher opponent that they could have scheduled up this way than who they're playing. So, outside Central Clay or somebody like that. But I mean, Alexandria will present them all that they need. In other words, Piedmont's going to know all about themselves. And on the other side of the ball, Alexandria's going to know all about themselves after Friday night. I think it's going to work both ways for both these guys.
I agree. And it's just, like I said, I don't think Piedmont's playoff opponent has been determined yet. I'm not sure about Alexandria's, but this is going to be a good game. And the fact that, because I know people in the Piedmont and Alexandria area, a lot of my in-laws' family are over in Alexandria, they're looking forward to this game because they used to play a long time ago, like I said, back in the 80s and early 90s, but this is going to be a hot ticket.
Oh, dude, you better believe it.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Like I said, I'm looking forward to going to this game Friday night. Never been to a game in Death Valley, so this is going to be a treat. I'm looking forward to it.
It's an interesting environment. The way their bleachers are set up, it's kind of rounded. It's rock over there on their side, and it's just interesting.
If you're a high school football fan, you have a bucket list of stadiums you want to visit, and this is one of them. So,
yeah, it's a different environment, I promise you. But like I said, Piedmont state champs for a reason. They got a great quarterback. They got a great running back. They got great receivers. Their defense is unbelievable. It'll be interesting on both sides. I think both teams will know a whole lot about themselves heading into the playoffs after this. Both of them, honestly. You guys got anything else? All right, we're going to shut this one down. All right, next up we have the Ashville Bulldogs in-house, and I'm going to let these young men, starting with Kevin Moore, introduce themselves.
Kevin Moore with Bulldog TV.
Clay Keller, Ashville High School.
Anthony Zito, Asheville.
What position do you guys play?
I play middle linebacker.
I play center.
Center and middle linebacker. Last week you guys had a huge win over Fultondale, 51-21. Let's rewind the clock back last week. I know going into that week, you guys are playing with some momentum, and by the way, still undefeated with the orange jerseys. Let's talk about that for a minute. But before we dive into that, take us back to last week. We're going to start right over here.
It was a big win. We knew that we were going to win going in because we had a good week of practice, good week of preparation, and we were just ready to play.
100%.
Like he said, it starts at practice. We got on the grind Monday, went to work, and showed up ready to play Friday, and went out there and showed them all that we have. Didn't let up.
Took care of business.
Took care of business.
That single wing was on fire like a stick of dynamite on the 4th of July. I mean, it was on fire. Hey, 399 yards total offense. Did not attempt a single pass. Paul Benefield, we want to be like you.
I thought you said we want to come up and play you.
Well, we got a game, but
Shay would say they're off.
Yeah. Shay would do it.
He would.
Yeah. Right back to you, Kevin. Kevin, they seem to have found their identity with that single wing. I know we joke about that a lot, and I talked about this last night, but talk about that single wing, all jokes aside, and how it kind of fits the idea and the mold of the city out there with that toughness.
Well, like I said, they started out this year in the wing tee, and the first 3 or 4 games, we got shut out 2 games in a row. But I wasn't giving up because I thought, hey, just once they figure out the offense and the buys in, it's going to work. And then all of a sudden, they start gradually bringing in the single wing, and started out 1-4, now we're 4-5 with a chance to be 5-5. Averaging, I think, about 30 points a game. And because, like I said, 52 the other night against Fultondale. The week before, Huntsville was 38 points. And then against, even in a lost door, we still managed to score 20 points. And so these guys are moving the ball pretty well. And there was times of the night where I would just watch, and they would just, whoever had the ball, they would go up the middle, and there'd be just guys they'd be dragging Fultondale players along the side. So,
my question to you're on that offensive line. Talk about, just your psyche, knowing that, we got something now that's working. We're running downhill. We're coming right at people. There ain't no mystery what y'all going to do. You're going to run it right down people's throats.
Yes, sir. So our O-line, most of the ones that are starting this year are first-year guys starting on varsity. And so they're doing a lot better than I thought they would. And they're really helping us move the ball and get us in where we need to be.
Absolutely. My question to this young man right now, the one thing that hadn't really let down all season is that defense.
Yes, sir.
You guys, even that Etowah game, you had 4 punts blocked.
Yeah, that was the main reason.
And you still, I think you shut them out the second half, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, sir.
But talk about that defensive unit and how it's gained confidence as this year's drawn on.
Well, for one, we would have to thank Coach Thompson for showing up and showing us the way. He's a great defensive coach. Probably one of the best that we've had in my high school.
When he's McAdory or Moody?
I'm scared of him, by the way.
Oh, yeah, he's the truth, bro. He's telling the truth, though. He's the truth.
He got mad the other night. I said, man, you guys are playing better defense than Alabama, and I don't really know how he took that. So I was trying to give him a compliment. So,
but like I said, he does a lot for us, and he showed us a lot of players. Because a lot, like he said, the O-line, but the D-line, they're a lot of first starters too, and people moving around, switching positions, and having to learn different things because, we don't have the best athletes, but we have athletes. And, you give an athlete a chance to show out, he's going to try his best. And we go out and we bring it to him, and like I said, we try our best.
It's been effective.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Dude, how huge is it for you two guys to close this season out with another win? It's going to be the first time y'all had a non-losing record since, what, 2003?
Actually,
2004?
first non-losing season since 2005.
2005.
And I looked it up. It's their first season since 2004. They've had 4 wins at home.
That's the first thing that any program, Steve Spurrier said this, we'll worry about that in a minute, but Steve Spurrier said this, in order to build your program, you got to take your home field back.
Exactly.
That's the first step. And they've done that this year. And now they've done that already. Now the next step is to get to 500. And hopefully, God willing, Creek Bank don't rise and do that Friday. But talk about that, what that means for you guys to go out with a win right here.
Well, I mean, for the past 4 years, the senior class really hasn't been. I mean, they've put us under our wing, they've showed us the ropes, but they really haven't been really motivated to do anything. By week 6, they've already pretty much gave up. They're like, well, it's already time. Let's move on. Let's move on to bigger things. Well, all this year we've been trying to teach all these young classmen, that there's more to it than just losing, and that's why we're sitting at a 4-5 right now. Is because Coach Monroe's been teaching us to believe in our team, believe in each other, and winning these games have hopefully proven our worth and our work ethic, I guess is what you could call it, for our community and for these teams out here, because we've always had that homecoming, I guess, title. Everybody wants us, everybody knows we can beat us, and we're trying to go out there and we're trying to turn it around to where.
I don't think they want none of that Stephen Wayne.
I'm telling you.
Same question to you.
So the whole entire time we've been in high school, like he said, this is the first senior group to really step up and lead the football program, and this is the first year we've got really good at running the football, and that's probably the biggest reason why we're so successful.
Spearheaded by that offensive line too. Y'all do a great job, Kevin. I'll ask you that before we shut it down.
And I just want to emphasize, give credit to these guys, these seniors, because they have led the way, because they're a reflection of their head coach, because Coach Monroe's motto is play 48 minutes of hard football and believe, and you'll never go wrong. And these guys have played hurt all year. They could easily lay down. I'm gonna be out. I'm gonna lay out 3 or 4 games, but no, they didn't. They stuck it in there and they hit it. They played even harder. And where in the past, that didn't always happen. So, but like I said, these guys are. And Coach Monroe told them after the game the other night that he's not going to let the future teams forget these guys, because they're setting the foundation.
100%.
That's exactly what I was thinking. You're laying that foundation for these guys, and you're doing a great job of it this year. So,
well, I sure
hats off to you for sure.
Coach Monroe's post the other day really meant a lot.
Oh yeah, man, the Friday morning.
Y'all
Yeah.
seen that, I'm sure.
Yes, sir.
That's awesome.
Guys, good luck to you, and looking forward. Hopefully we get this win right here. We don't do bulletin board material here or pick winners, but let's just say I'll be pulling for you.
Sure do appreciate it.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you too.
All right. Our next game brings us into the Etowah Blue Devils, coming off a big victory. And hey, props to Etowah for playing that game. A 10-time state champion, 27-time region champion in Sweetwater.
Yeah.
Props for Etowah for picking that game up. A lot of people would not have played that game, but I think Coach Locke knew that a game like that was going to make them better, and heading into the Southside game, especially into the playoffs, it's good to be tested. And I think it was huge for the whole city of Etowah and the school system of Etowah to play that game. But before we start rolling on, I'm going to let these two gentlemen introduce themselves.
Tyler Dobbs, linebacker. Trevor Gladden, linebacker.
We brought these two guys in because, we've been Etowah defense heavy all year, and these two guys kind of spearheaded that defense. Guys, last week, take us back to last week's game. I know you were out with the flu. Dobbs said you was faking, but I believe you had it. But Dobbs, take me back to last week. There's several plays I don't know if y'all played a team that actually attacks linebackers harder than that team has. They come after y'all in groups, 2 and 3 and 4. Talk about that Sweetwater team and the challenges they presented to y'all.
Oh yeah, no doubt. They were physical. That team is just being physical is how they win their ball games. And when Coach said they hit you in the mouth, they hit you in the mouth. There's no doubt about it. They're going to hit you.
Oh yeah.
And
I got a question. Speaking of hitting, were those guys hit as hard as you?
No.
No. Okay.
Let's not get crazy here. Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
They hit hard, just not that hard.
Okay.
Hey, no, they hit though.
Right.
Yeah.
They do hit.
Them linemen, when they came, it wasn't one. They never just hit you by one.
They come like
the
a
other one
minute.
came. Yeah. Especially when you run that wing tee, they did it to the tee. I mean, that was the perfect offense for that team itself in general. Can't beat you outside, so I'm gonna run it down your mouth.
When you do run a wing T and you run it properly, it's blocking by committee, and they mismatch you in formation, and then they, depending on who the coach is, they're going to outnumber you with blockers in that direction, and that's what they were trying to do.
Oh yeah, they did it,
and they did a pretty good job in the second half. The first half, I think y'all kind of got those 3 and outs and kind of shocked them there.
Shocked them a little bit there.
But now, Mr. Gladden, what was you seeing from the sidelines? I know you're never on the sidelines when the defense is out there, but how is that game looking different from your point of view?
I actually wasn't there. I was listening to it on the radio.
Oh, okay.
So
you was quarantined.
Yeah, I was at home, getting better and just resting up for the coming up weeks.
I like it. You got to hear Jerry White then.
Yeah, Capel Sports.
That's right. That's right, Jerry White and Company, man.
Shout out.
All right, this week you got the 77 rivalry. Let's talk about Southside. I know you guys have probably watched film on them by now.
Yeah.
You may have seen them in. You ain't got to see them in person. Y'all played there.
We saw one against Fort Payne. That's it. That's the only one we could see.
I got you. Talk about. Yeah, that was a good game. Talk about what you guys seen from Southside.
They got really good play calling on offensive wise. They know when to run it and how to run it. But they're a physical team. But it's going to be like a fist fight in the phone booth, really. It's always been like that. No matter how good one team is and how good the other, you're going to play your best game when you play against each other.
100%. It's rivalry. What have you seen from them?
They're good. They're good throwing the ball. But me and I'm sure Dobbs and all the other people, we want them to run it. We wanted to run it.
I know y'all. I can attest.
That's what we like. So that's what we're hoping they'll do.
These guys would rather them line up in the wishbone and play out. But this is a huge game. It has nothing to do with the playoffs. This is the old school rivalry. This is an old school, bragging rights. You guys live in the same county, right down Highway 77 from each other. What does that mean to play in a game like that?
I mean, we've been playing them since we was little, and there's no other feeling than beating them.
Yeah.
And then that's about it.
100%.
I mean, it's just the same thing he said, You hear about it for the next 365 days until you play them again.
Oh,
so
100%.
it don't really matter. But you always want to go out there and beat your rival team just because you don't want to hear about it. You want to be able to tell them about it.
That's it. It makes a lot of sense.
I don't have anything.
You don't have anything? Buddy, you have anything? You may ask some more
I'm
questions.
actually going to be able to come see this game, guys. I'm excited to see it. I don't think I've ever got to come to a Southside Etowah game ever. So
This is going to be one there. This is the one that's going to be good to go
I can
to.
imagine. I mean, it's an old rival. A lot of people think this will be a packed house for sure.
The thing about this game, though, I'm going to tell you, being over there at Barney Hood Stadium, dude, it's going to be standing room only. I'm telling you that right now. Etowah's going to bring their crowd. Etowah can go play Pittsburgh and they're going to bring a crowd. Yeah, but playing at Barney Hood and they have a smaller away, there'll be people standing. I'm telling you, this is going to be and it's supposed to be nice, cool fall weather. Yeah, kickoff time. Semi hoodie weather. It's going to be. Weather conditions are going to be perfect. Maybe a wet field because we may get some rain through that tropical storm or whatever. But I'm looking forward to it. Dobbs, you'd rather play in the mud.
Oh, yeah.
I would too.
You can't throw it. You have to force to run it, and that's what I want teams to do. Cause
right up your alley.
Yeah, you ain't going.
You want to run it right at you.
Oh yeah. You don't have much success with that.
Dobbs is old school as it gets, bro.
Right on.
Gladden is too, though. Now
I heard Coach talking about you.
Coach Pierce. Oh yeah, he said. I tell you, when you first looked at him, but he gets his hands on you going to the ground. No doubt about it. Well, fellas, I appreciate you guys sitting in. Good luck to you guys Friday night, and I know I'll be there. You're going, buddy?
I'll be there.
Yeah, so that's at least 2 of us going to be there for sure. Jay, you're coming with us too, man.
Oh yeah, I'll be there.
Absolutely.
Y'all keep talking about it, y'all gonna change my mind.
Guys, we will see you guys Friday night. Good luck.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, our next game brings us into the Central Play Vols, and played Tallahassee last week and won 33-0. I do believe that's correct. And this week they have a massive game with Handley, who's undefeated. I believe. I don't think Handley's lost.
They're 7-0.
7-0. And they've got probably two of the best defensive ends in the state, if not the nation, on that team. Very good defensive team. But before that, we have the luxury of having Mr. Tommy Wood in as again on the Jars for All's Ronnie Watkins Ford Hotline. Mr. Wood, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How about y'all?
Doing really well. Good to have you on again. Take us back to last Friday night and tell us about that game a little bit.
Well, it's kind of a strange game. We weren't really hitting on all cylinders at all in the first half. We built a 19-0 lead, but let a few scoring opportunities kind of fall by. And I think in the early stages of the third quarter played much better, but in the first half just really had a tough time getting in sync. And like I said, just one of those nights. It was a slow start, but played pretty well the whole night. Defensively, we looked really good, and that was very encouraging.
Yeah, because they have a really talented running back. Tallassee does. It looks like you guys shut them out, though. Talk about that defense and how it performed overall.
Well, I think when the running back Daniel is his last name, and you can tell he is a great running back. He likes to cut back, and we had a lot of success stringing him out. And then when he cut back, a lot of our pursuit was able to get there. So really, they just never really gave us the gap to cut it up, and that was the key to the ball game. We had several turnovers and a couple of picks and everything, and defensively, like I said, just controlling their running game kind of forced them to try to throw the football, and that's something they're not really comfortable doing. So it was a recipe for a big win.
Absolutely.
Coach, or Coach Tom, I'm calling you Coach now, like Bo.
That's fine. I told y'all I'll answer anything.
Just don't call you late for dinner.
Hey, Tommy, you're married. I know how it feels. Right. You're married. You have to answer to everything.
I know. So if I say yes, ma'am, in a minute, y'all just go ahead and work with it. Okay?
Yeah. What matchup problems do you see, or not problem? What matchup challenge do you see when playing this Handley team? They're undefeated. They seem to be strong defensively, like Bo said. And what do they present on the offensive side of the ball that would be a challenge for Central play?
Well, offensively, they're a team that coming into the ball game, they scored 52 last week, and they've only given up 51 the whole year. So they were able to put up points. Got them in big chunks last week against White Plains. Quarterback's a good athlete. We've seen him for several years, and he can make plays with his legs and his arm. So he's going to be, a guy that we've got to keep an eye on. And of course, the Bettis kid running the football. And last week there's a Haynes that wears number 6. He had 130 yards last week. So they've got several good running backs. In the years past, it seems like they had one dominant running back, but I think they've got more depth at running back this year than they've had. And I know their line's going to be physical too. So that's just going to be they're going to try to grind it out. And I expect them to try to run the football against us. And we've just got to come up defensively with our front seven and find a way to stop them.
I got a question. Did you just say they only gave up 52 all year?
They've given up 51 points the entire year.
Wow.
And they scored 52 last week against White Plains. So, yeah, they did have a couple of forfeits in there, with the COVID thing. But still, you're playing pretty doggone good defense. You're giving up 51 points in 7 games. So they played extremely well. Now one neat, one kind of strange thing, this is the only time they played back-to-back weeks the whole season. Because of COVID, they've only played 2 straight weeks, once before, and then this coming Friday night will be only the second time the entire year. So, just kind of a strange, the way the schedule's fallen in their way.
That is unbelievable. And I know this team's really good. They beat Lynette, who's defending 1A state championship. But if you have seen Lynette play, I went and watched Lynette play Randolph County 2 weeks ago, who was the number 1 team in 2A, and I think they beat them 60-something to 14 or 20 or something like that. So, and this Handley team beat them.
They put up 60 against Randolph County and only 3 against Handley. So that kind of tells you what you're looking at right there. So,
okay. And Randolph County was the number 1 team in the state at the time they played.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. So this is going to be a tremendous challenge. Talk about Boyd Ogles and that offense and what they got to do to move the ball against 2 very, very talented defense, especially both of their defensive ends are straight up nasty.
Yeah, they are. They're 2 great defensive ends. So our offensive line's going to have a big chore, especially our tackle on each side. They're going to have to find a way to create a pocket and allow Boyd a little in the same category. I think that they are very good up front. We're going to find a way to, get the running game going. And once we can get that going, that may open up some passing lanes for Boyd to find some receivers, downfield. And I think that maybe we can get a couple of big plays and get on the board. And but honestly, I really feel like this could be a low-scoring game. I think that it's going to be one of those that the coaches say comes down to a few plays in the ball game and turnovers and little things like that. They play a big role in this one.
Well, Coach, like I said, I know you're getting the last regular season. How are you guys health injury wise? Y'all pretty healthy, or y'all? I guess like everybody else, got a lot of banged up players.
We are. I mean, at this point of the year, it's always it seems like the injuries kind of jump up, and we're relatively healthy going into this ball game. We've got a couple players that have been kind of limited lately in a couple weeks, but I think that we'll see them back full strength this week, and I think that as a whole, this team is a pretty healthy team going in, and getting ready for that postseason. And that's one thing about it, is it's a tough game to have in week 10 when you're getting ready to go to playoffs. So we're just going to have to find ways to get out there and somehow come out with a win, and again, you want to keep everybody healthy heading into the playoffs.
Coach, one last. I'm Coach. Mike.
That's fine. Yes, ma'am.
That's beautiful.
Awesome.
Will you be at the Central Phenix City Oxford game this week or no? Will you be calling that one?
I will be calling that one. I've got that one on Thursday night.
All right, we will be there. I'm going to come up and see you.
All right, man. You just let me know.
We'll be in the locker room with Oxford, and I'm going to come up there and see you before the game.
Sounds good, man.
All right.
I'm looking forward to that. That's a lot of talent on that field, too.
Boy, you better believe it. Keith Etheridge and company will have be tested heavily in that game. But who else would you want to play right before you head into the playoffs to see where you're at?
Absolutely, and I think that's the same way that we already play Central too. I think that this will give us a good, because we look back at our region and those games were, some of them were not as difficult as others. So it's time to get tested and find out what we need to work on this weekend and get ready for the Satsuma Gators coming to town. So
there you go. All right, Mr. Wood. We will talk to you next time. Looking forward to it, and I'll see you Thursday night.
All right, man. Y'all take it easy. Appreciate all you do.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir. On to our next. All right, our next game brings us into the Oxford Yellow Jackets, who's coming off a huge win that captured the region championship for them at Fort Payne, 49-14. And a game that was really dicey there for a little bit. There was some, how do I say this? Questionable calls in the game.
Imagine that.
I know Antoine Fagan Sr. put on his Facebook at about 12:45 a.m. Hey, I just seen another flag thrown from Fort Payne. But
well, that's what happens when. Never mind.
It's either here or there. At one point, that's about 160 yards on 3 consecutive plays or something like that. Call back. But don't matter. Got the win. Got out of there. Got a road win, 49-14 versus a region opponent to help capture the region championship. This Oxford team looks like a machine. Kev, talk to me about Oxford a little bit before we dive into this week's game.
Well, speaking of that game, I bet the refs from that game ate a lot up there at the Western Citizen for free. But anyway,
in Fort Payne.
Yeah.
The Western Citizen,
where the refs eat free. But anyway, when I first saw this schedule, I thought, what is Coach Etheridge thinking? I mean, he's playing Pinson, Pleasant Grove, and I thought, was he sober when he made this schedule out?
Thompson and Pleasant Grove back to back.
And I saw the rest of the schedule. I thought, well, I see what he's doing. He's trying to prepare a tough non-region schedule for the playoffs. Because with the exception of they kind of sort of breeze through the region pretty much. But it's a game that I think is going to be very challenging for Oxford. But if they can play like they're capable of playing, it might be a bad night for Central Phenix City.
Here's my personal opinion on it. The way I look at it is Oxford when Oxford does Oxford, they're hard to beat.
Oh yeah.
If Oxford goes in there and executes like we know they can, and they're spearheaded by Trey Higgins, who's probably the front runner for Mr. Football at the moment. He's definitely in the conversation. And then you surround him with an offensive line like they got, and then offensive weapons like he's got. They're hard to beat. And then Coach Cochran and them on the defensive end is as talented, if not more talented, even on the defensive end. And like you said, you got coaches like Wagner and Cochran, but here's the deal. The game's at Oxford. Central Phenix City is a very, very, very good 7A team. I personally don't think they're Oxford good, though. Oxford had a lot of guys out when they played Thompson. You know, they had some dudes out. And they learned a lot from that game. And they got down 21-0, but then they outscored Thompson 35-34 from that point of the game on. I look to see an early fast start versus the Central Phenix City team. They're not going to get down like that again. I promise you. Them playing at home with a lot of pride. It's going to be the last game of the season, last game of the regular season here at home in front of that crowd. They're going to empty the clip on them. I'm telling you. And it's a Thursday night game. So the coaches has got to cram this stuff in this week to get them ready to go. But I look for them to play really well. I really do.
I think that's an advantage for having the Thursday night game because you're having to learn a lot of information real quick. Because when you get to playoffs, you're having to learn a lot of information real quick, especially because you win on Friday night. If you advance, you got to go Saturday morning get to Montgomery, which I think that's insane. That's the biggest joke. That's
They could virtually do that, or why do they even do it to begin with?
Yeah. Hey, I was about to say we're having a Zoom for everything else. Why don't you Zoom for that?
I bet you they do this year.
They probably will.
That'll probably be a blessing.
Yeah, absolutely.
That would be a blessing. You guys got anything on this game?
Should be a great game. Like you said, Central Phenix City is a great 7A team. They've played for the 7A state championship the last couple of years. So you don't have a slouch in this team. And one thing I think we may have all forgot about, Central Phenix City coach Patrick Nix coached at Pinson Valley. So he probably knows his Oxford team and kind of knows their tendencies and what they're going to do. Because Oxford and Pinson Valley have gone back and forth in the playoffs the last couple of years. So that might be an advantage for Central Phenix City, but I still think Oxford's going to win this one pretty good.
I think so too. It's hard for me to imagine that they're more prepared, better than they were last year at Pinson, his last year at Pinson.
Yeah.
Then they're going to be this week, on a shortened week like that.
Yeah.
Having to travel on a Thursday instead of a Friday up here to Oxford. It's hard for me to imagine that he's going to have them in a situation to win this game. I can't see it.
Well, first game of the season, I think their season opener got canceled, and I think they ended up picking up Hoover like a day or two before that game, and they played Hoover pretty close.
Yeah, they did.
The season, so who knows? Who knows?
I mean, they got talent enough to do it.
They do.
It's hard for me to see Oxford losing at home.
Oh yeah, I agree. But it should be a hard-fought game.
Oh yeah,
two talented teams.
I'll be interested to see Wagner and Cochran on the sidelines.
I'm coming to that one with you.
Yeah, hey, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good stuff. I'm telling you, I'm ready. And we do know at this point, not looking ahead, but Oxford will open with Minor in the playoffs.
It's gonna be a good game.
It's a good game. They only lost to Pinson by a couple of points. They only lost to Clay Chalkwell by a couple of points.
Yeah,
they're pretty solid team. Yeah, they're pretty solid.
They beat Gardner. That's
pretty solid. So I mean, from here to the end of the season, all the way to Alabama, Oxford's gonna have tough games.
Now, like I said, jumping ahead, and I have not looked at the 6A bracket yet. But is Oxford at the top of the bracket, or are they kind of in the middle, or where are they?
Yeah, they're region champs, and they should be.
They should host at least first couple rounds.
I think the first time they would have to travel would be third round if they went out. Yeah. If Pinson and them both win, I think they'd play Pinson third round at Pinson.
Correction, Minor did lose to Gardendale, but still, that's a very solid team.
Oh yeah, lost to Pinson Valley by what? 5 points.
5 points.
Lost to Clay Chalkwell by 5 points.
Yeah.
Pretty solid team. All right, guys, we're gonna shut this one down. On to our next. All right, guys, we now have Pinson Valley in the house for the first time this season. Appreciate you guys making the trip down. And I'm gonna let you introduce yourself, starting with Coach, and then just name and position with everybody.
Coach Whitmire, defensive line coach.
Zach Byron, quarterback.
James Perkins Jr., defensive end / outside linebacker.
Julian Peterson, nose guard, defensive tackle.
All right. We'll start back over here with Coach. Coach, how's your transition been making the move from Fife to Pinson Valley this year so far?
It's really not. It wasn't that bad really. I mean, when you got guys like this right here, it don't make it that hard, man.
Jimmy's and Joe's parts.
That's right. That's right. They probably had to get used to me a little more than I did them.
No doubt. I know weight room wise, it's been a little bit different with Coach there with you guys.
Yeah, sir.
He don't take no shortcuts in the weight room, does he?
No, a little bit more intense.
Yeah, I've seen him push spearheading some workouts before. It's pretty good stuff. That little inch on the squat there makes the difference in the world. Zach, same question to you. Transition. I know you've been asked this probably 1,500 times so far, but how's it been so far?
No, it's been good. I think the biggest thing is just being able to adjust to the type of game it's been, just not even the speed of the game, just it being a different offense and stuff, just being able to adjust to that, but I got a good coaching staff for me and some great players, so they just make it super easy.
Absolutely. Now, you guys have been on the road. You've won the region championship. You've also, beat Jasper last week, 55-34. What did you see out of Jasper last week? And we'll start over here with you, Zach, and work our way back down.
No, they were a great team. They didn't quit. We put our 2s and 3s in, and they kept playing really hard. And it didn't matter what point it was. They played hard from the start of the game, and they didn't care who it was. They came out and played football, and I thought they were a really good team.
Last year they were ranked number 1 for a long time in 5A.
Yeah.
And actually beat Central Clay early in the year.
The regular season. Yeah.
Come back and beat them. The same question. What did you see from them offensively last week?
We got their best, I believe. It was a very hard team because every team we play, we get their best. So we had to come out there and give our best. And at the end of the day, I feel like that we still got some things to work on. But that was a great team to play before the playoffs.
No doubt.
Yeah, Jasper had a lot of fight in them. They weren't willing to give up yet, no matter score or quarter. We put our 1s and 2s in. They still played the same as the 1s in the whole time.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
You talked about Jasper giving, coming out and taking a shot at you guys. I'm sure y'all see that every week. Everybody y'all play. And I'm looking at some of the scores. I mean, y'all's region is tough. Y'all are tested every week. I know I talk to Teddy every week. And so, speaking on that, do y'all think your tough schedule is going to help you guys come time for playoffs?
I think so. I think it will. I think we've been trying to bring some guys along, other than the ones, some guys we think that might spot sub, a little bit in the playoffs, and hopefully them guys will come around a little bit, But I think week in and week out playing against somebody that's pretty tough is going to help you in the long run.
No doubt. Go ahead, you get another one?
No, I was good.
Teddy, question to you is, when you got DBs like you guys have on this team, how much is that easier does that make these guys' job?
Man, really, they picked up our slack in the Clay Chalkville game, and they can tell you that's probably our worst game defensive line wise that we played, and they really we have like 3 interceptions I think that game. They coming up making tackles, and I mean they just doing their job, man. That's what we've been trying to teach everybody, man. Just do your job. That's all you got to do.
No doubt. Another question, we'll start back over here. What's Coach Shade mean to you since he's been there? I know it's been a whole different regime from Coach Nix to now, but what's it been like playing under Coach Shade, who's made it at all 3 levels?
Yeah, he's been doing a really good job for us. He's been getting a lot more personal with each player, make sure they're good and they getting what they need to be done.
Absolutely.
I mean, he is a great coach. Coach Shade, he's really different from Coach Nix. I say that both of them are great coaches. Both of them come at you at a different level and a different aspect, as you would think. Coach Shade come at you from that more of a, I'm gonna coach you up, I'm gonna do all this. And Coach Nix, he does the same thing too. So both of them was great coaches to me.
It's a little bit different styles.
Very different styles.
That's the same thing he said. I'm coming from Coach Bannerfield to Coach Shade. Both of them know what winning's like and what it takes. But they do it in different ways. And Coach Shea, like they said, is going to coach you up and be there for you, and he's also trying to get on more of a personal level with us, making sure everything's good, because with this COVID stuff, it's messed up a lot of people and their family too.
You ain't lying.
He's trying to make sure that just off the field, everybody's doing good and all right.
It's been a different world, man.
Yeah,
it really has. I mean, it's affected everybody. In some form or fashion, it's affected every single team and person we've had in here.
Whether it be their family members or anybody.
Playing anything, it's affected
Absolutely.
everybody.
Yeah.
What else y'all got, Reggie?
I think
Let's talk about Teddy's hair, man.
Should we put Teddy in the hammer?
Man, it's not even a fresh fade. It ain't even clean. Don't talk about it.
I've seen Teddy get a fresh face.
Yeah, we have.
You know, we got Teddy, then we got Smith, and we need to do a coach's version of our hair.
Coach's version of our hair tournament, sure, man.
I'm starting to get these grays, man. I got to keep it clean.
That's right. That's right. Keep coming out.
We got him big time, man. Hey, one other question I would like to ask you guys is clinching the playoff berth in the region championship like you have already. Now you can start working on yourself and things you need to do. And it looks like you guys are going to be off this week because of COVID, just pre-mentioned. Which way are you turning with your coaching this week?
So weeks like this, I think you get back to really just working on just the simple things like defensive linemen, working on your get-offs, working on pad level, working on getting your hands right. Just the little things that's going to those little things add up, and I think we've kind of gotten away from those these past couple of weeks, but we're going to get back to them.
What's he referring to, my man?
Basically just getting like regular stuff in, like he said, pad level, getting off the ball quick, and once we get used to that again, we're just going to evolve from there, really.
Absolutely. Same question to you. This week, what do you look to work on?
Everything I've been slacking on, stuff I ain't been doing right, like my steps in the pass rush, make sure I'm dipping lower than the O-line's hip level, just small things I can fix.
Zach, same question?
Really it just comes down to the fundamentals. The base of the game is what we can work on, because when you get into big games, every playoff game is a big game. It comes down to not even making the big plays, but doing all the little stuff right. So whether it's me taking a 1-step or a 3-step drop or me throwing a slant or a go, it's just the littlest things that I have to perfect this week.
100%. Well, guys, good luck to you guys. I know it looks like the way it sits right now, there's no game out there to be played. If y'all do pick up one, good luck, and we'll be looking forward to seeing you guys in the playoffs.
Thank you.
Appreciate you guys making the trip. Make sure you get enough to eat when you leave. Take it easy, guys. All right, we're here with the Southside Panthers, coming off a bye week, about to face that cross-town rival, I guess you'd say, Etowah, 77.
The Battle Highway 77.
That's it. So before we get started, I'm going to let these guys introduce themselves, starting over here.
Cordell Walls. I'm Everett Grizzard. Jackie Gasky.
What positions do you guys?
Tackle. Free safety. Defensive end.
Guys, each one of y'all answered this. What did you guys work on mainly in your off week? I know a lot of teams turn inward and start working on themselves. What did you guys work on mainly?
Getting our feet back up under us and, taking our time to focus on our technique and, just really, getting prepared for Etowah. We took some time out of the week, got our feet back up under us, and then we started working out.
Well, we worked on a lot of the small things to help us with the big things, so we'll be prepared for Etowah, and we just worked on our cardio and get stronger, and then he just let us rest and be ready for this week.
Just gave us a chance to get our feet back up under us, and then we went over drills and stuff that we were doing before season just to help fine-tune some stuff and just getting ready.
What have you guys seen from Etowah on film? I know you probably got to watch some film so far.
They got good secondary-wise. They got a good running back, Trent, and they're going to be a good team to play.
They got some good skill players, but we got to shut them down. We got to shut them down with short pass and long pass. Definitely got to shut down the skill players. Definitely got to shut down.
Etowah's always had some, intangibles that you can't see on film. I've always known Etowah to be a hard-hitting team. You can't just go into Etowah game, not playing hard-nosed. So it's going to be, a hard-fought game.
I got a few more.
Okay, go for it.
What's Coach Nelson's message to you guys this week, with it being a rivalry week? And this is, I mean, outside of Hope's Bluff, I know Hope's Bluff's a semi-rivalry, but to me, this is a much bigger rivalry. What's his message been to you guys this week?
Well, I mean, Coach Nelson, he's from down south, so he's not raised up here like most of us are, and I think he's just now starting to see how big of a deal the Etowah game is to us every year, and he's just telling. I mean, he knows, especially off of last year, it's going to be a hard, very physical game, and if you're on that field, be ready to get hit and get hits. I mean, it's not. If you're a boy, don't come out there.
Yeah, he's definitely starting to take it serious. He's starting to realize that we take it real serious playing against Etowah, and that there's no off days. No off days this week. We got to work hard. We got to push through, and we got to be strong for this game.
Absolutely.
Well, Coach Nelson usually tells us his message, and we decrypt it further through the week. But if I had to, think on what this would be, it's going to be a momentum game and just getting ready for, what we got ahead of us. But it's 1-0 on the week. We got to take care of this week before we can move on.
Playing this game at home, is that going to play a factor into how y'all going to compete against Etowah Friday night?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Our student section, and, it's always fun, It's hard to, go at home. We get a lot more time to fine-tune things to sit down and travel an hour away like you usually do in 6A football.
I mean, especially since we lost last year at Etowah, we're not. I mean, it's coming in hard.
Seems like whenever you're at your home stadium, you got a little bit more gas in the tank to give out at the end, especially, and it's more about pride than anything.
I mean, you're coming into our house.
Yeah.
And Coach has always had this message since the start of the season. We want to start in our county and win our county. Like we, Sardis, Hoax Bluff. We wanted to be kings of our county. Absolutely. Take it back.
I got a question for you guys. Last year, you guys jumped out on Etowah big time and kind of shocked them a little bit. How are you guys going to maintain that, same mentality all the way throughout this game without letting off the throttle?
Just keeping our composure. Don't let little mistakes get away from us. Just come back and stay focused.
I think in games like the Hoax Bluff game, which was also very emotional a game, you can't let your emotions take over what you're doing. It's a good thing to have emotions, but whenever you let them get too involved in it, it's hurting how you're playing. And if you might be playing hard, but you got to be doing your techniques and stuff right in order to succeed.
What is one of the coaches, one of the greats, Mr. Benefield's talked about it, playing with emotion that lasts, 1 or 2 plays, maybe 3 plays. Mm-hmm. And then it's time to play ball, turn to a football game.
That's what Scott Martin, I think, did.
I think everybody knows that we got some weather coming in this week, so there's a possibility the field could still be wet on Friday. Are you guys preparing for that in practice this week?
We've already played in practice, especially at the beginning of the season, playing in weather, and it doesn't matter how cold or how hot, how wet or dry, we're still going to go out there and play hard.
I like that. Who's got the best hair on the team?
Best hair? Hayden Robertson.
Oh, Scotty Moats. Scotty Moats.
I know Moats. Yeah, I see that.
Scotty Moats.
Yeah.
Is that the guy with the longer hair that was here last week?
Sunshine.
No, Scotty hasn't been here yet.
Scotty hasn't been here.
Okay.
Y'all got some Southside shag going on with you guys.
Yeah.
No more, it's just shag.
Yeah, I like it.
Probably Robbie. Yeah, I'd say Robbie got it.
Cody Roberts' hair's got the Southside shag.
I forgot about Cody.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
He's got that surfer dude thing.
Well, guys, good luck to you guys. It's always fun having Southside in. We had Coach Nelson on last week on Firing Off with from Jared's Tactical, and looking forward to having you guys in. Good luck this weekend.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you.